Welcome, Algebra. We are going to be working on 8.4 division rules because we've done sections 1 and section 2, and we are skipping section 3 for a day, okay? And we're going to be working on 8.4 now. So this is before section 8.3, and after today, we have a quiz, okay? Over all of their rules we were working on. So if we go back to PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, we've been taking a step down. Exponents step down to multiplication, multiplication step down to addition, and now today we're finally doing division, which steps down to subtraction. So you see division with exponents, you subtract. So what we have here at the top is 6 to the 5th over 6 to the 4th, which we do subtraction. So we get 6 to the 5 minus 4, which becomes 6 to the 1st, which is 6. And the reason why this is subtraction is actually pretty simple. If on the top we did 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 5 times, which gave us 6 to the 5th. And on the bottom, we did 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, which gave us 6 to the 4th. We can simply cross out values that are on the top and the bottom. So 6, those two go away. Those two go away. Those two go away. And those two go away. And we're left with our answer of 6, which is what we got right over here. Okay, so that's why the division property works. So if I go back to our problem here on the bottom, we have 8 to the 4th, 8 to the 6th. So I go up here and I go 4 minus 6, which gives me 8 to the negative 2. Now, using section 2, we have to turn this into a positive exponent. So we put it on the bottom. It's heading down to Wormtown. And that becomes 1 over 64. All right, and the last one here, we have x to the 4th over x to the 4th. So we get x to the 4 minus 4, which gives us x to the 0, which turns out to be 1. And that's it. Okay? I'd like you to pause here and give it a try. So we're back. For each of these problems, they're not too bad yet. We're staying with the easy stuff. This ended up being a to the 4th. This ended up being 1 over 8. Because you had to, it was 8 to the negative 1, but you had to turn it into 1 over 8. And this became 1 over 4 to the 5th, which I had to get my calculator out to figure out what 4 to the 5th was, which is 1,024. So there you go. Questions? Ask me. I'm in the room somewhere. Ask me. So now we're getting a little bit tougher. We have to go back to that distributive property. Okay? This 2 is going to get distributed into each of these terms inside of here. So in this case, the top was 2 to the 1st. And 3 to the 1st now becomes 2 squared over 3 squared, which ends up giving us 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. Okay, don't turn that fraction into a decimal. It's not going to help you. Here, we distribute this 3 into both terms. So we get negative 3 cubed over y cubed. And something you should have figured out by now, a negative number raised to an odd power is going to stay negative. A negative power raised to a negative number raised to an even power will become positive. Like if this was a 4, this answer would be positive. Well, we know the answer is now going to be negative because it's even, or odd, becomes negative 27. And the bottom becomes y cubed, which is the same thing as negative 27 times 1 over y cubed, but I'm expecting you to probably give that answer. Okay? And this one here, we have to distribute the negative 3 into both terms. So we get 7 to the negative 3rd on the top, and on the bottom we get 4 to the negative 3rd. To make them both positive, they both have to flip. So we get 4 cubed on top from the bottom, and we get 7 cubed on the bottom from the top. Multiplication gives us 64. 7 cubed is 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7 is 343. And 2 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work. I think this is fully simplified. 64 divided by 343. Yep, fully simplified. But you still have to try to simplify it if you can. And there you go. Try these on your own. So we're back. So let's give these each a good try. So this ends up becoming 5 cubed over 4 cubed, which is 125 over 64. And that's our answer. Cannot be simplified from there. This one we have to distribute the 4. So we get negative 1 to the 4th, because that's a negative 1, times x to the 4th, all over 2 to the 4th, which gives us, this turns into 1 x to the 4th, all over 16, which is the same thing as x to the 4th over 16. Now, if you just did this as negative x raised to the 4th, that's okay too, because you would have gotten the same answer. As long as you ended up with x to the 4th over 16, that's the most important thing. And finally, we distribute in the negative 5 here. Negative 1 raised to the negative 5th over x raised to the negative 5th. We flip both of them. We get x to the 5th over negative 1 to the 5th, which gives us x to the 5th over negative 1, which is the same thing as negative x to the 5th. Either one of these final two would have been okay with me. All right, questions, ask me. Okay. Now we're getting to the tough stuff. We're multiplying a bunch of concepts together. Okay, the first thing we need to do when dealing with this top problem is take a deep breath. Okay, just, it looks a lot tougher than it actually is. But we need to make sure all of the variables have exponents with them. Okay, and we're going to ignore the fact that it's a division problem, we're simply going to multiply across the top for now. Okay, so we're looking at just the top part of this equation, so just up there. 2 times 9 is going to be 18. X squared times x to the first is going to be x cubed. And y to the first, y squared, is going to be y cubed. Okay, so the 2's went together, the x's went together, the y's went together. We put that all over. The bottom now we're looking at. 3 goes with nothing, so it's 3. X to the first, y to the fourth. Now we're going to do the division rules. Okay, 18 divided by 3 is 6. X cubed minus the x to the first here would be x squared. And y cubed and y to the fourth combine to give us y to the negative first. In order to get rid of that negative, that needs to drop down. We can also put this over 1 to get 6x squared all over y. A lot of work for a nice clean answer. Okay, now this bottom one here, we're going to distribute this 4 into each term to give us 2 to the fourth, x to the fourth, all over y to the eighth. We get 2 to the fourth is 16. X to the fourth combines with nothing. And y to the eighth combines with nothing on the bottom. So a lot of work, but our answer was nice and clean. 16x to the fourth over y to the eighth. Here's true. Give them a try. Work through them step by step. Okay, so we're back. And we're going to work through these step by step. That's the most important thing. So the top, we're going to look at just the numerator first. So we get 3x to the first, y to the fifth, and the bottom we're going to get x to the fourth, y cubed. 3 is going with nothing, so that's going to stay. X is going to become x to the negative 3, and the y's become y squared. We then get rid of that negative. We get 3y squared over x cubed. Okay, and finally, distribute into 3. So we're left with 5 cubed x cubed all over y to the 9th. Okay, not y to the 6th, y to the 9th. 5 cubed is 125. X cubed all over y to the 9th. And there you go. If you have questions, I'm around. I'm there to help you. Okay, here's your assignment. The top one is 12 problems, so you need to get 11 of the 12 right to move on. And the bottom one is going to be 12 problems, so you need to get 10 right to get your grade. Okay, good luck.